Good morning, Talk 94.5. We've got a brand new show coming up. Just want to give you a quick heads up on the weather. Stepping out right now, 81 degrees, heading up to 83. Chance of showers be this evening around 5 o'clock. Only a 40% chance. Tomorrow, a high of 85 and a 20% chance of showers. We have a brand new show that is just hitting the airwaves. It's Up with America with Thomas Heron. Coming up right here on Talk Radio.
What do you think about that, Glenn?
Phenomenal. Those kids were great.
That group is called the Cactus Cuties.
Yep.
I first discovered them, I think, maybe 10 years ago on YouTube. I'm a sort of a YouTube addict. And I'm also a national anthem addict. And I think that may be the favorite version of it that I've ever heard in my life.
Who are they?
Hey, Scott Richards is here
Scott
with me.
Richards,
Thank you,
yeah.
Bubba. Appreciate it.
That's because Tom and I have known each other for
a long, long time. Yeah.
Yeah, what, 20 plus?
Years, yeah.
20 plus?
No, I've known you for like 48 hours.
The Cactus Cuties are a group. That was when they were about 10 years old. That's a few years ago.
Oh, my.
They're from someplace in Texas. They're from Lubbock, I think, and they were singing that night. They were singing at a Texas Tech game, a basketball game, and it's just mind-blowing.
They were 6, 7, and 8 years old.
Wow, unbelievable. So, But let me tell you why we started with that. And we're probably going to start every single show with our national anthem, but I want you, the listeners, to tell us what one it is. Almost everybody has a favorite version of the national anthem. A lot of people tell me
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a traditionalist.
Yeah.
And I love hearing like a Boston Pops or when the Long Bay Symphony will do the national anthem and those strings come in.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally
I'm not a big
get it.
fan where they start going off into
No, me either.
wild and woolly.
There's some. What about that? Back in the '60s when who was it? Who was the guy that played the guitar version of it?
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix. Holy smokes, that was a little different.
I respect
never a big
it,
fan, yeah.
but no.
Might be helpful if you folks understood. So, by the way, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Facebook/UpWithAmerica, or Facebook.com/UpWithAmerica. What I'd love you to do, or send us an email at patriots@upwithamerica.org and tell us what your favorite version of it is, and we're going to pick one for next week, and that'll be the one we play. So log in and go do it.
And you can join the conversation by dialing 843-903-2945, or you can text Tom at 843-798-8255.
Says it right there, 798-8255.
And that is the PCRXcomputers.com text line.
Outstanding. So how on earth did this whole Up With America thing start? And little did I know that I'd be sitting here today when it looks to me like America's in deeper trouble than it maybe has ever been in. Mm-hmm. I'm very worried about our country. And along the way for this show, we will be discussing some of these current events. Probably going to steer clear of this today, Glenn, a little bit clear of some of the current activities, other than to acknowledge that I understand that last night in Portland, they tore down the statue of George Washington, which I find absolutely abhorrent. But that's a subject for probably for another day. But let's talk about how did Up With America start? Why did it start? And so I want to start by doing something real interesting, which is to read a letter that I wrote to my father posthumously. My father was a World War II hero. He flew the Hump, which is the Himalayas, 67 missions. I just think he was an amazing human being. A lot of us that are old like me have parents or grandparents that were in World War II. And so when I started worrying about where America was going, I wrote this letter to him, and I want to read it to you guys.
Okay.
Dear Dad, I've been thinking even more than usual lately about you, wondering how I could ever thank you for all you gave to me and to my family. What can I do in my life that even comes close to your immense sacrifices? You survived the Great Depression, left your family behind to fight the air in the war in the Pacific. You returned home to build a career in aerospace and continued to defend our nation, put men on the moon, and help your daughter and sons attend college. Through it all, you were a man of great wisdom and immense faith. But today, I present you with an apology that's long overdue, and with a promise that I will keep until my final breath. First, the apology. You and your generation handed me my life on a silver platter. At no time or place in the history of civilization has so much been given to so many. An unparalleled standard of living that would be the envy of kings and czars and emperors through the ages. A foundation and faith in family and education that assured that I could accomplish just about anything I put my heart and mind to doing. Like every generation before you, you passed me the torch of freedom that supports our God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and then I promptly dropped it in favor of the pursuit of pleasure, of wealth, and of the stuff of man. Today, I'm embarrassed that from your eagle's perch in heaven, you can see how my poor stewardship has turned America away from its role as a good and noble keeper of the faith into a haven for excess, dependence, greed, corruption, and immorality. To be honest, I don't know if there's still time, but I am fully committed to doing everything in my power to make America great again. By the way, that line was way before where we are today. I will work tirelessly and relentlessly to celebrate what's good about America, to seek and promote smart solutions for our economy, for our government, and for our people, and to establish attainable goals for our 250th birthday, the kind of goals that Americans are used to setting and achieving. You would be so proud of your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, Dad. You were the wings of our family, as I hope to be the wings of mine. And I have picked up that torch and dusted it off and discovered it still has a spark. And with everything that's left in me, I will pass America's torch of freedom on to my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren one day soon. Missing you as always, your loving son, Tom. That's what started Up With America.
When was that?
10 years ago, but a little bit longer than that. I think the 2008, maybe.
I remember you talking about the idea, and it was just starting to come together. And, you know, we may not be exactly on the same political spectrum, but I found it inspirational. It's like, yeah, who argues with the idea that, explain it. Up With America is?
Scott, it is to inform and inspire and celebrate this nation. It is not to discuss political differences. It's probably more conservative than liberal, but technically I would say it's more constitutional than anything else. It's like Antonin Scalia said, the Constitution is not a fluid document. It says what it says, and it doesn't say what it doesn't say. And that's where I come from, okay? So you and I, Scott, have disagreed on stuff forever since I've known you. Yes. But not enough to hate each other or go to war.
Because we do agree on a lot of things.
Or burn down buildings.
No.
Part of what makes America great is to be able to disagree.
That's
and
exactly.
Then to do it in a polite, gentle way. And that's where we need to be. So what Up With America then does is to, working with a lot of volunteers and helpers, put together a whole series of what we like to call smart solutions for America that focus on our economy, and they focus on our government, and they also focus on our society itself. So anyway, we got more to talk about. We're looking forward to it. I'm expecting a few people maybe to call in, we hope.
Yeah, we've got Richard on the line. We'll get to him right after we get the break.
Fantastic.
And we'll be right back with more Up With America with Tom Heron here on Talk.
Hello, Grand Strand. This is Brian Coolball with Cool Ideas Marketing. I just want to say thank you for all your support during this time. We are located on Robert Grissom Parkway, and we are open and ready to help your business grow. Remember, we're in this together. Grand Strand strong.
The Myrtle Beach Area Chamber thanks you for supporting your local businesses.
I shouldn't do any soliloquy.
Oh, we made it. Summer's here. It is just way too hot to be mowing your own lawn. No need to sweat. There's a solution for this. Introducing Mobot of Myrtle Beach, an environmentally friendly robotic lawnmower service. Really, Mobot mows your lawn on its own. No gas, totally green, totally automated, and quiet too. Cost less than a traditional lawn service. Want to learn more? Google Mobot Myrtle Beach. Set up a no obligation consultation. Mobot Myrtle Beach. The grass is always greener on your side of the fence.
The only social media you need is Talk 94.5. Like, comment, and share with The Liz Callaway Show.
And we're back to the Up with America with Thomas Heron here. It is a brand new live show, and Up with America is exactly what you need in your day.
You got it. Totally agree. That's what it's all about. We got to celebrate this place. We've got to let probably, Glenn, 2 whole generations of Americans have no idea what this country's about. They weren't taught about it. We don't teach history correctly anymore. We don't teach civics anymore. And so we've got generations who it's really not their fault. I'm going to explain some of that in a minute. But do I understand we got somebody who's wants to have something to say with it about this?
Good morning, Richard. You're on the air with Tom.
Good morning, Tom. This is Richard Medlock.
Richard Medlock, good heavens. How are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
I'm doing great. Congratulations on your radio show. I know we have talked about this for you and for Up With America for a long time. I have a trivia question for you.
Okay.
When's the first time you read your dad's letter on the air?
The first time I read it was on your show. Tell me what year that was.
That was 2014.
There you go. So, see, Richard used to have an internet. What was the name of that, Richard? I forget the name of the show.
It was called World Reality.
That's right.
And we dealt with the political economics of not only the country, but the world.
That's right.
And it was shut down. I shut it down in November of 2015.
Yeah.
And sometimes I miss it. I'd like to get back, but
I'll tell you
right
how
now,
you get back. Are you still in the upstate?
Yes.
So either on a call-in one of these days, and I'll get back in touch with you, or you can come down to Myrtle Beach, enjoy the beach, bring your family, and let's come in here on a Saturday, and we'll chew the fat.
That'd be great.
I would love to. Richard Medlock, thank you so much for calling in, brother.
Yeah, I just I'm in full support of everything you've done from the beginning. I'm like you. You and I have talked many, many times about the Constitution, about America, the greatness of America. And I think you and I had, and many of us at our age bracket, would never have thought we'd see America where it is today.
Oh, boy.
It is astounding, but the citizens, there are a whole lot more good citizens than bad ones.
Amen.
And I think that the bad ones are pushing the patience of the good ones. And once that patience has been pushed far enough, you will see this turn around.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I look forward to talking to you more and getting you over here in person. And I also want to say, let's hope that the pushing doesn't end up in violence, because I'm a little bit frightened of that. But listen, dude, Richard, thank you so much for calling. This is Richard Medlock. You're going to hear from him some more soon, okay? Deal?
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a voice from the past. That was cool.
Yeah, that's great. It's the glory of the internet, and somebody in Greenville can be listening, and or, upstate.
Yeah.
Which we should point out that if you're in town, for example, but you want to keep listening, our website does have live streaming. Just click the Listen Live button when you go to talk945.com, and you can be anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. By the way, I should point out to everybody that if you go to UpWithAmerica.org, that's our website, which is very complicated and very extensive. It's also in the middle of being rebuilt. In fact, I was hoping to have it completely done by the time we launch the show, but it's probably going to be the end of this month. content doesn't change much, but the style is
design.
going to change, and it'll be easier to communicate back and forth.
I think what you said is what everybody says. Yeah, we're going to have a brand new website, and it's like building a house.
It is. It's a never-ending process.
It is, and it's complicated, and you get it almost right, and then not quite yet.
Let me say a couple things real quick. I understand we have somebody else on the line in a minute.
Yes, we do.
How much time do we have?
As much time as you want. We are
Okay.
really flexible.
All right, well, then let's do this. This will be kind of special. Okay, I'm going to introduce this guy. This is a gentleman that I got to know maybe 20 years ago. I believe one of the finest gentlemen that is in all of Horry County. He's an attorney from Loris, and he served for, I think, 5 or 7 years as associate probate judge, and just recently retired, and is now a member of city council in Loris, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Carol Padgett, and he's on the line. Carol, welcome.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm doing
Congratulations on your new venture. This is exciting. I'm honored to be able to get to speak to you today.
Well, thank you for calling. What's on your mind today?
Well, I wanted to wish everybody a happy Father's Day, and those mentors who may have taken care of children that weren't theirs. And also, once again, I have heard your wonderful letter to your dad posthumously a couple of times, and it was a very poignant story. I never get tired of listening to you read it.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. You know, I seem to recall you did something similar to that not too long ago.
Well, I
Hey,
did.
Carol, let me interrupt you just for a minute. Can you turn there's some background noise.
Yeah, turn the radio down because we're hearing a little bit of delay.
Okay, is that better?
There you go.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
Hey, Carol, I want to jump in here just real quick. It's Scott Richards, but I want to do a shout-out because the attorney that is kind of taking over your practice was our longtime radio partner way back in the mid-'80s, Mike Suggs, one of the great guys.
Oh, he really is. He's also on city council and practiced law with me for several years, 10 or 12 years, I think, maybe 7 or 8 years before I went to be a judge at the chief associate probate judge.
Yeah, we go back far enough that we worked together when Mike was deciding whether or not to go to law school.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't look that old, Scott.
I feel it. Well, we're glad that you're with us on the radio.
Well, thank you so much.
So, Carol, why don't you give these folks a taste of the fact it's interesting. People in our generation that are very upset with the way America is going are thinking the same way. And I'll never forget the day that you said, I can't believe you just read that letter. Wait till you hear this. And this is what he gave to me.
Right. My father was in World War II. He happened to be in the Battle of the Bulge, and in January of 1945, right after they stopped the Germans from coming through, which was December the 16th, 1944, he was in the 106th Infantry Division, which was wiped out in the Battle of the Bulge. 78.5% of all the troops in their division were either killed, wounded, or captured. He luckily got out and was wounded later, severely wounded in the leg, and was sent home in January. But he has a harrowing story. But anyway, I had been for many years thinking how important it is maybe to tell our parents how much they meant to us. And so I had lost my mother back in 1978. I'd only been out of law school 6 years then. And I said, well, now's the time to tell my dad what I think of him. So on June 15, 1994, I wrote to Carol Padgett Sr. in Stone Mountain, Georgia, the following. For many years, I've wanted to write and tell you how much you and your example have meant to me in my life. With Memorial Day just passed and Father's Day upon us, I believe now's the time. Like millions of others, I watched the great wonders of the terrible trials and tribulations of war during Memorial Day holidays, World War II. Truly, war is hell. Surely the world will never see such a vast armada that was poised on the coast of Normandy on June 6, 1944, and the number of troops of all the countries aligned to fight in World War II. You and others like you still may dream dreams of those beaches, those black forests, thick hedgerows and lonely farmhouses on the European countryside. You old warriors live amongst us today, walk shoulder to shoulder with us, and work beside us every day. Remember, this is 26 years ago. Most of them are gone now. You are all quiet men, even though your accomplishments were enormous. In the black corners of your closet are boxes, in attics, laying things that, when touched, I'm sure must bring warm and tearful moments and memories of your lost youth. Stiffened boots dried by the years of neglect, khakis and green wool blankets, medals in velvet cases framed hanging on walls, scrapbooks with pages frayed and brittle. These are what's left to have and to hold those cherished memories of times and friends long since gone. These items and stories only you can tell to your son and your grandchild will forever stand as the lighthouse of those who you were and are. Millions of raindrops have washed American blood off the rocky walls and cobblestone streets of unknown European villages. The war-stained farm soil has been tilled again and again for those 50 seasons of harvest since you were there. Birds, not bombers, scream over the villages, and the wind, not bullets, whistle through the tall wheat fields. It is almost as if the soldiers were never there, and yet nothing is the same, nor shall we ever consider it so. Man's history is like a river, always flowing and heading onward. All human history would have easily flowed dark and malevolent, but for your bravery and the millions of Americans like you. For many of us who were born after the war, D-Day, Normandy, and Battle of the Bulge, were short textbook entries of grainy newsreel scenes spliced into old war movies on late-night television. Lines of bombs dropped from the soft underbelly of the warplanes, parachutes floating in open fields, rifle-toting foot soldiers sloshing through hip-deep quagmires of mud and snow, now called roads. These are all but small screen images in black and white. We do not and cannot know the smell of death, the taste of fear or terror. We look at it only as acts of a play being observed and not being lived as you have done.
Carol, can I ask you to hold for a minute? We're going to come back to you. We got a hard break coming up here, and then we'll be right back to you, buddy.
That'd be great.
All right, great.
We'll be right back with more Up with America with Thomas Heron.
Hey, this is Tony Zach with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. We started with Mr. Sparky years ago, and then we added plumbing with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. We did it because our specialty is taking care of your home, and everyone was asking about a dripping faucet or a stopped-up toilet. Now with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, we're doing big jobs and small every day. We are replacing that old toilet or fixing that clogged drain. And right now, we're doing a lot of water filtration systems. Good, pure, clean water. It's more important than ever now to have a filtration system for your home. Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. We take extra care in your home, protecting you and our workers. Safety is number one, so if you've got a plumbing problem or a water filtration estimate need, call me. I'm Tony Zach, and we are Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Get in touch with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing and Tony Zach. Google Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Myrtle Beach.
Here's Dr. George Protz of Protz Chiropractic talking about accident-related injuries.
We can have the neck pain, the back pain, headaches, radiating symptoms of numbness, tingling, burning, pain in the low back, pain down the legs, pain in the foot that was hard on the brake. The amount of force and the magnitude of force really affects the spine and the joints of the spine.
Schedule your consultation with Protz Chiropractic today. Call 843-236-3293.
Hear what owners are saying about Thomas Beach Vacations Owner Services.
I have 2 properties down here. One stays in the rental pool 52 weeks of the year. The other, I can rent out 3 months of the year. They approach my 3-month rental with the same commitment as they do the one across the street. Thomas Beach Vacations, they make you feel like you're part of the family.
Contact Thomas Beach Vacations at NorthMyrtleBeachVacations.com. Customer focus, results driven.
Talk 94.5. Local comprehensive news headlines weekday mornings on Talk 94.5.
Governor McMaster says he doesn't have plans to close beaches.
And you thought you didn't need that beach bod.
The Liz Callaway Show with Nick Summers. Cutting edge, entertaining, and now 4 full hours. It's Liz and Nick. The Liz Callaway Show with Nick Summers on Talk 94.5.
In South Carolina, manufacturing is a people business. At the South Carolina Manufacturing Extension Partnership, we help companies like yours compete, grow, and win. Whether you need help reaching the next generation of skilled workers or becoming an employer of choice, consider us the force behind your workforce. Visit us today at scmep.org and let's put knowledge to work. SCMEP is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization, an NIST MEP affiliate, sponsored by SCMEP in cooperation with the South Carolina Broadcasters Association and this station.
The new conservative alternative, WTKN Talk 94.5.
Okay, Carol Padgett, Judge, please wrap up your letter. That would be great.
All right, great. Your spent youth and innocence was the price of the freedom we enjoy today. Dad, you molded my life. You have a gifted mind and keen business acumen. You showed me how important the rigor, moral values of honesty, integrity, education, and persistence are. Through your example, the thirst for knowledge was imparted to me. In fact, you challenged me to think for myself, taught me how to think creatively, and trained me not to take information at face value before subjecting it to the scrutiny of logic. You taught me never to accept blindly what others tell you. You instilled in me the conservative values of the common man, which have come to form my core beliefs. Pop, you never knew, but I studied your every gesture, absorbed every word you spoke, and hopefully learned every lesson you taught. The value and ideals of World War II, the greatest generation, are as much a part of my upbringing as the air I breathe. Words like trust, integrity, character, diligence, and excellence are not mere words. They are the robust, vigorous ideals that defined you and Mom in your everyday life.
Hey, Carol.
Oh, yes, sir.
Let me interrupt you. Can I ask you to do me a favor? Because we're going to run short on time. Can you get this down to that last couple of sentences that I remember? And I apologize for having to cut you short like that.
I understand, believe me. Often I am in a moment of despair, thanks to you, called a challenging situation. I am struck by the deep feeling of gratitude and peace knowing that you're there with me. Perhaps it's knowing there are no limits to what any of us can accomplish, only great opportunities. Dad, I love you. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, Carol, awesome. Happy Father's Day to you, my friend.
Happy Father's Day to you. You've got so much to be proud of, and we're proud to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to need your help. Thanks, Carol. Carol Padgett, former associate probate judge here in Horry County. Okay, next, we got some more stuff to do, and I know we got some callers that are lighting up the board here. But before we take the next caller, let's lighten things up just for a second, okay? I found this thing the other day, and I thought it's kind of funny. It's sick funny, but I'm going to read a couple of them.
Okay, I like sick funny.
It's called We've Become a Nation That's Lost Its Collective Mind.
Mm-hmm.
If a dude pretends to be a woman, you're required to pretend with him. Somehow it's un-American for the census to count how many Americans there are in America. Russians influencing our elections are bad, but illegal Mexicans voting in our elections are good. People who have never owned slaves should pay reparations to people who have never been slaves. Inflammatory rhetoric is outrageous, but harassing people in restaurants is perfectly fine. People who have never been to college should pay the debts of college students who took huge loans out for useless degrees. $5 billion for border security is too expensive, but $1.5 trillion for free health care is not. I could go on. There's hundreds of those things. We'll do a lot of that.
We need sound effects.
Yeah, I have to put in some doing.
I'll have to get that stuff to you earlier, Glenn, so we can have some fun with them, all right?
Yeah.
Do we have time to take your call?
Absolutely.
Let's take, what do we got here? Mike?
Yep, you got Mike on the line.
Mike, who's calling, please? Tell us a little bit about you.
I've known you for 53 years, Tom.
Oh, my goodness. Is this Mike Kilman?
It is.
Oh, listen, folks, I got a little secret story for you. But before Mike starts talking, so back in another century, back in the 1960s, I became a brother of Lambda Chi Alpha at my alma mater, Lycoming College up in Pennsylvania. And I was we had a big party, and this guy that's on the phone right now had this beautiful girl with him named Cindy. He was dating her.
Oh,
and I said to him and another brother that also dated her because she was a town student, I said, I'm going to marry that girl, don't you? And he was, yeah, fat chance. And Cindy was my first wife for 10, and she's the mother of all of my kids.
Uh-oh.
So, Mike, you're calling from Camp Hill or just outside Harrisburg, right?
Yeah, outside of Mechanicsburg, yeah.
So what's up today? Tell me what's going on.
Well, what's going on is you, buddy. I wanted to congratulate you for this.
Oh, thanks.
And you and I have known each other for those 53 years.
Yep.
I don't know if LD is on the broadcast or listening to it, or Mel or Gary or whatever. But after yesterday's debacle, trying to figure out in my best Biden moments that it wasn't Saturday, that I was going to call you today.
Well, I'm glad you did. And I'll tell you what, let's make a deal. Let's schedule, I'll give you a call in the next couple of days, and let's schedule an opportunity to either talk on the phone live here on the show and get into some serious stuff, because we're good at doing that stuff. And we are, listen, you talk about fraternity brothers, we are brothers, and we have been that way for a long time. We got probably 15 or 20 of us. And then, who knows, maybe I'll have you come down and spend some time at the beach and we can do it together. How would that sound?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the spirit of sharing father stories, so eventually we'll get to mine. And I would appreciate the opportunity.
How long would it take you?
Yeah.
Rock and roll, dude.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
as long as it's not a book, it'll be cool.
Well, it's not a book. I can keep it short. But like the last caller, my father was with the Third Army in Patton going across Europe. And he was one of only 3 of his original company to make it out of there alive.
Oh, wow.
A Silver Star winner, 2 Bronze Stars with a V device, and a Purple Heart with 3 clusters.
Wow.
So he saw a lot, including the Bulge and many others, 5 campaigns. And I lost him 8 years ago.
Oh, did you? God bless him.
And I'm kind of glad he's not living today to see this.
Oh, isn't that the truth? Isn't that oh, Mike? Wow, I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah,
it's tough.
He was the type of guy that was intentionally not politically correct. And if you wanted an opinion, just wait about 5 minutes. And it really wouldn't matter what subject you were talking about at that point in time either.
Well, listen, Mike Kilman, let me just say this, okay? Happy Father's Day to you and to your father in heaven and to all the wonderful fathers out there that are listening today. And I can't thank you enough for calling us up. And please don't make it be the last time. I will start bothering you about this, all right?
I'll be back.
Thanks. Mike Kilman, good friend. Thank you, sir. We got time for another call or no?
Yeah, we can take another one.
All right. It looks to me like there's a guy on the line here named John Cost. Is that true?
That's true.
John Cost, welcome to the show.
Well, I'm so glad to see you're on and running here. That's great. Okay.
Yes, sir. John Cost has been around here for a long time. Let's see. You were on county council. Was that in the 1800s?
Yeah, I think back just right after the Revolutionary War.
Okay, yeah. So you can probably talk a lot better about this than most of us.
Well, I don't know. Well, you're telling Father's Day stories at this point in time, are you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you a couple things about my dad, okay? You know how old I am, okay? So... yeah, he preceded, he would go back to in between the World War I times and World War II, okay? But, so often we talk about the current generation being the greatest generation. And I seriously doubt that. I think that the generation before us was the great one, because when you think about what they went through as they transgressed from east to west in covered wagons and God knows what, you know, they just had a resiliency about them that I don't think we have in our society today. My dad was married, lost his first wife. They had 5 young children. He was at that point in time a school teacher and a store owner in a little town. Okay, and you know, had to make ends meet. But what do you do? You know, so he married a second time and had 2 more children, and his second wife died. And you know, again, here we are. You know,
yes, sir.
7 kids, all right, and you know, at that point in time, a little bit older, a few of them in their teens, etc. But he met my mom, and they got married, and I was the last of the Mohicans, so to speak. But you know, he just carried on with that family throughout his entire life. Okay. And
so John, let me do this because I'm going to have to interrupt you because we're going to be coming up on a hard break. But I want to say a couple things. This is one of the finest human beings on the planet. John and Lois Cost have given of themselves. How many children did you adopt?
5.
Adopted 5 children. How many kids did they have?
Well, I think we've got 9 grandchildren, 13 great-grands, and 3 great-great-grands.
Can you believe that,
wow.
folks? John and Lois are the finest people you could ever want to know, and to call you a friend means everything to me. I appreciate this call, and I'm sorry we have to cut it short. I'm just learning how this system works, and so I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, well, I'll just say one other thing about my dad was that he was over 70 years old when I was a teenager, and I was hot stuff on the baseball field. He'd play catch with me and burn that thing in, okay? That's what kind of a dad he was.
I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
Take care.
Thanks,
Right.
John. All right.
Good luck on the show, Tom.
Thank you, John.
We'll be right back with more Up with America with Tom Herron.
Virtually all of us live in some sort of flood zone. To make matters worse, we also live in an area where hurricanes are likely. Do you have the correct insurance to protect your home and family from floods and hurricanes? It may be time to contact Moore & Associates. For more than 40 years, Moore & Associates have been providing their clients with expert insurance advice and competitive and much-needed coverage. Not too much or too little. Insurance that's affordable and appropriate. Contact Moore & Associates today. Get in touch at mooreandassociates.net.
Hi, I'm Angie Knight, managing attorney at Grand Strand Law Group in Myrtle Beach. I focus my practice on real estate, estate planning, probate, and business law. With the help of my amazing staff, I do real estate closings daily. Have you considered buying or selling a home recently? At Grand Strand Law Group, we strive to make the process stress-free. Let Grand Strand Law Group assist you with your next closing. Just give us a call at 843-492-5422 and speak with one of my amazing staff to help you get started. We want to be your trusted choice.
It's summer, and that means sun and sand, but it also means it's racing season at the Broadway Grand Prix. Race to victory on the Pro Track in a Karts A Pro Kart, Double Pro Kart, and Junior Pro Kart. 1 track, 3 rides with a timing system so you can see who really wins the race. Play all day with 7 go-kart tracks, bumper cars,
bumper cars. I love bumper cars.
2 18-hole mini golf courses, and more than 90 games in the arcade. The little racers will love our Kid Zone with rides sized just for them. Get your crowd fed with our delicious food and sweet treat pit stops. Family fun for all ages at the Broadway Grand Prix. Get your tickets for the day or season pass at BroadwayGrandPrix.com. Broadway Grand Prix, the only place to race. Fun for all ages, located across from Broadway at the beach.
This is the McLeod Health Medical Minute.
Chief Nursing Officer from McLeod Health Seacoast, Cheryl Nielsen.
At McLeod Health, the health and well-being of our patients, staff, and visitors is our #1 priority. At each one of our hospitals and doctors' offices throughout the region, we have implemented a number of new measures to ensure your safety when you come for care. Screening protocols, limited visitation, social distancing in waiting rooms and lobby areas, and increased cleaning measures in public spaces are just a few of the ways we're keeping you safe. Our doctors are making sure our patients who have diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and other illnesses not related to COVID are taking care of themselves and being seen via televisits in the office or at the hospital. We serve the health care needs of patients every day and are committed to our calling. Before COVID and after COVID, we're going to be here taking care of our patients and our community from the Midlands to the coast.
The Liz Callaway Show with Nick Summers, now 6 to 10 weekday mornings on Talk 94.5.
What would bring a young man to rise up from his birthplace, pack his life into a suitcase, and set sail for distant shores? What would cause a grandma, after 80 years of living, to leave her little village, not knowing what may lay in store? What could fill the hopeless millions with a newly kindled faith in a brighter future far across the way? I can almost hear them say, America, I hear you calling me, sweet land of liberty, I'm on my way. America, beckoning with open arms.
You're listening to Up with America with Thomas Heron here on Talk.
Okay, folks, I hope you like that song.
That's
Let me tell you
beautiful.
what.
It's absolutely beautiful.
I first heard that song about probably almost 10 years ago, and I fell in love with it. And the guy who wrote it is a guy named Dustin James, and he's a writer and recording artist in Nashville. So I called him up, and I told him what we were doing. And he sent me a letter saying I could use that song anytime I want to because he loves Up With America.
Great.
And so I put in a call to him, and he's going to call in the show one of these weeks, and we'll have a nice talk about his career and what he's doing, what he's writing about. I just love the name of the song. He named it America, which I think was a mistake. I like calling it God Has Given Hope a Name, which I think is appropriate. Okay? Beautiful song. All right.
Who's that singer?
That is Dustin.
It's Dustin James is the writer, but the singer is Brittany Black.
Brittany Black.
Brittany Black.
Okay.
Yep.
It's great.
All right. We got a little bit more business to attend to before we wrap the show up for this first time. How many of you have ever heard of the 10 Cannots? A lot of people mistake the 10 Cannots author as Abraham Lincoln, but it wasn't. What happened was William Bechter wrote this back in the early part of the 20th century, and it was published at the same time as a book about Abraham Lincoln, so somehow they got twisted. But I've always thought that the 10 Cannots are...
When you say that, is it a cannot?
Yeah, one word, cannots. You cannot do this, cannot do that, okay? And I've always thought it was maybe one of the most appropriate ways of describing how things should or should not work. And here we go. You cannot bring about prosperity by discouraging thrift. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help little men by tearing down big men. You cannot lift the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot establish sound security on borrowed money. You cannot further the brotherhood of man by inciting class hatred. You cannot keep out of trouble by spending more than you earn. You cannot build character and courage by destroying men's initiative and independence. And you cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they can and should be doing for themselves. I'm telling you what, those are incredibly valuable lessons, especially with what's going on right now.
It's good stuff.
Oh, good heavens. Do we have a familiar name calling us in there, Glenn? Is that what that is?
We actually do. I just want to let you know, it looks like Angie Jones has told you, congratulations, Tom. You're doing great. Happy Father's Day. And that's on the PCRXcomputers.com text line.
Angie, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. Angie is the county treasurer.
Yeah,
and
great lady.
Does a great job.
Great lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reese Boyd just wanted to check in with you real quick.
Check in with me. Reese, what's up?
Hey, Tom Heron, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, my friend.
Listen, I know you're getting close to the end. I won't take much of your time. I just wanted to let you know I was home working on some stuff, had the radio on in the background. I enjoyed the show very much, and congratulations, and I hope it works out great. It's a great thing to do, and I've enjoyed it, and good luck with it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I listen to you every day that I can get up at 7 o'clock.
This one's a little easier to catch for the late risers.
You got it, buddy. Hey, I'll see you soon. We'll talk this week, all right?
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Sounds good. All right.
For people that may not be familiar, Reese Boyd, every Saturday morning at 7, a couple of hours with Reese Boyd, and I think he joins Liz
on Fridays.
Yes, he does.
Right, Friday mornings.
And then right after Reese's show, which is what, what's he call it?
7 till 9, Saturday morning
and
coffee.
right after that comes my buddy Chad Caton, who's just doing a great job. I think he's crazy.
He had some high marks for you this morning. Good things to say about
guy,
you.
man. And his wife is adorable. It's too bad that he's married to her because I'd probably
yeah.
I'm not sure I'd have that conversation with Chad.
Nah, he's a little big.
I could take him.
Yeah.
I know. How much time we got left, Glenn?
4 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to read through the Smart Solutions for America real quick so that you know what it's about. And I would implore you to go to UpWithAmerica.org, to go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com UpWithAmerica, and to email me at patriots@upwithamerica.org. We have pared our Smart Solutions for America down to 15 things. There are thousands, and what we want from you is to contribute your own. Send in ideas. Here we go. Our smart solutions for our economy are that we think we need to end deficit spending, end illegal immigration, expand our health care access and lower the costs, reduce and simplify taxation, and here's a key one right now, buy genuine American-made products. If we all do that, we can change the world, I'm telling you. Secondly, smart solutions for our government. We need to provide for the common defense. Guys, the number one and primary purpose of government at all levels is, job one is to protect us. That's what it's there for. We can never let this military go south on us again. We just have to maintain it as strong as possible. Secondly, it's time for term limits. We don't have a choice. We have to have term limits. It isn't that we don't like some of the people that are in office. It's that it sows the seeds of corruption. It provides for bad ways of black money and dark money. It's a nightmare. Locally, right here is a good example of it. We need to invest in infrastructure and preserve our environment. People, Tom, you can't say preserve our environment if you're conservative. Yes, I can. And then we need to refine entitlements and Social Security and return the governing to states. And finally, the most important stuff is our society. We must restore our God-given rights. We have to do it. This foundation in faith is what it's all about. We have to revive the family unit, require a free and fair press, restore education excellence, and reform our judicial system. And with that, that's the sum total of our Smart Solutions for America. But if you've got great ideas, send them in. We'd love to hear from you. We really would.
And that website, again, is?
UpWithAmerica.org. UpWithAmerica.org.
And I promise you, by this time next week, we will have it linked on our website at Talk 94.5. And we'll have Facebook connections, so that it'll be really easy to get connected with Up With America. We might even get a picture.
That works. We can do that.
Picture of Tom?
Picture of Tom.
Yeah.
We don't want that. No.
I knew that was going to be your thing. It's been a great first show, Tom, and great to have people calling in. And this is going to be a very active, ongoing adventure starting today.
Scott, I think you're right. Glenn, thank you for all your help. It's easy to work with you. It's a lot of fun.
It's easy to work with you as well.
I will.
Was it easy to work with me?
Yeah, always.
Not so much.
Well,
so I would close it out, I guess, by saying this: we don't have a lot of time, folks, and I don't mean on this show.
Right.
I think the country is in more trouble than it's ever been in. What's going on in some of these cities is unbelievable. This defund the police is a bizarre new concept and I don't believe it's an accident. I think there's something nefarious going on.
You and a lot of other people, Tom.
So please tune in. Please keep in touch with us. Please go to the website. Please go to our Facebook page and or write to us at patriots@upwithamerica.org. I thank you guys for tuning in, and thank my friends from around the country who have called. And this has been a super treat. Thank you so much. I guess we'll see you next week.
We'll be back with Tom next week at 12 o'clock with Up With America with Tom Heron.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time